Hi, my name is Bjarne Sørensen, and I am the lecturer for Lead and Manage Organizational Change and/or Contribute to Organizational Development. In this video, we'll talk about your assessment for this subject, and in particular, Assignment 1. So, if we scroll down a bit, you can see the assessments that you need to undertake for this subject here. Now, you basically need to write a change plan. You need to identify a problem in an organization and come up with a plan for how that problem can be uh, turned into something better. And that is the plan that you'll be writing. Now, your plan can focus either on learning a TAFE. So, for example, if you're an online student, you might find there are some problems with the learn site that you're using or sites that you're using. You might find some issues with any number of things, and you could write a change plan for how that could be changed for the better. So the other option that you got is to focus on a business you're working in. And here you could focus on any number of problems. As a matter of fact, in the some of the first topics of this subject, we'll look at different areas that are often in need of change in a lot of different places. And you will basically maintain that focus throughout the following assignments. So the first assignment is just the first part of your actual change plan. The second assignment is the second part of your change plan. So these two assignments combined basically creates one change plan. You will also need to undertake a couple of meetings. You need to basically convince people that change should take place, that you're onto something good here with your change plan, and you need to also later rephrase, and we'll talk more about that later in this topic. But for these assignment 3 and 4, you need to basically have a meeting. So if we look at assignment 1 first. Now this is a Word document, and it is a Word document because you can basically just start to write your assignment right in this document. Um, so I guess use these introduction. You always need an introduction, so you could basically just use that as a heading and start to write right under that introduction heading. You might want to copy paste it so you don't have this box around there, but yeah, you can work that out. So as I mentioned before, you have two options for the focus of your change plan. You can focus on TAFE, and if you focus on TAFE, you can undertake the meetings right here in class at TAFE if you have the option to come in. Otherwise, you might want to undertake an online meeting instead of a physical in-class meeting. But it's all discussed here or your options are listed here in the assignment, and you can basically read about that. No matter whether you focus on TAFE or an external business or organization, you need to have access to a strategic plan, or at least strategic planning. Maybe you want to sit down with a manager if they don't have a strategic plan, and talk to them about the strategic direction of a business, because changes are often about changing so that you support the goals of the organization. If you are focusing on TAFE, you got a link here for the TAFE as a strategic plan. So that's is already there for you. If you focus on an external business, well, you basically need to find that plan yourself. When you then write your assignment, it's very important that you do exactly what it says here. Don't skip any things. Now, introduction, that's just an introduction. You introduce a reader to why change is important, why essential to change internal operations with the external changes that are happening around us. Um, when you get down to point number two, there's a bit more detail, and you need to make sure that you address each of these points in turn. You might actually um, write your UCs as subheadings in your assignment. That would be a really good idea. So you need to introduce the reader to the organization. So underneath here, just explain the name of the organization, maybe when it was established, how many people work there. Um, Under point B, you need to outline the organization's strategic objectives and strategic plans. And here you need to have a reference, whether that's a reference to some personal communication, if you sat down with a business manager, or to, say, for example, the TFSA strategic plan. You need to identify at least two external environmental trends that impact on the achievement of organizational objectives or strategic plans. So the world around us is changing very rapidly. So, for example, if you focus on TAFE, you might find that students now have different expectations than they did in the past. Maybe they want more video content. Maybe they want any number of things that you can think of as a student. And that might be something you would like to discuss in this section. But you need to identify two trends. So maybe you want apps that can be used, a learn app. Maybe, yeah, you can probably find something. Um, you also need to explain the impact on legislation on the change process. And this could be a number of things. You can read more about that in the sessions of this course. But health and safety is always a concern when you change things, as an example. And you work your way down through these points, but never ever skip any of the points. Like you gotta address everything that is in within a given point, and as long as you do that, it's easy to pass an assessment. If you don't address all the points, unfortunately, I will have to send the assignment back to you, ask for modifications, and you'll have a second chance. But it's a lot easier just to do it right in the first place. Um, so um, that's basically it. And this is the first part of your change plan.